Hi, Phil Schoenberg, Fast Pitch Power. Back in the day when I was a kid, and I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was, every Saturday afternoon on TV there would be these westerns. My father loved westerns. So occasionally I would watch these with him, and invariably when the good guys put together the posse to go and find the bad guys, there would always be a Native American with them who would end up going down on his hands and knees and picking up the dirt and looking at the dirt and saying, okay, there's 4 of them, they're about a half a day ahead of us, and they have 2 mules with them and 4 horses, and so on and so forth. The Native Americans really knew how to look down at the ground, and invariably one of them would say something like, "The ground tells many tales." Well, the same thing is true in windmill pitching. When you are fortunate enough to be doing your workouts and your drills and so on and so forth, or even pitching in a dirt area, what happens on the ground, what your drive-through looks like, will tell you a lot about the mechanics of the delivery of your pitch. I'm going to show you a couple of marks on the ground here. If you'll come a little bit closer here and take a look, you will see that there are 3 sets of lines on the ground. Here is a stride foot landing coming off the pitching rubber. Here is line number 1, here is line number 2, and here is line number 3. And you can actually see that there is a distinct difference among these lines. Now, line number 1 is a balanced, vertically stacked drive-through where you are reaching, you are tracking, you are firing, and you are driving straight through on a linear path. If you see a line in the ground that is basically going from the pitching rubber, no gap, from the pitching rubber all the way to the stride foot heel in a nice soft banana hook, you're going to know that you were balanced and vertically stacked when you delivered that pitch. Maximum speed and command. Line number 2, as you can see, instead of having a nice soft hook to it, has a sharp right-hand turn. This is for a right-hand pitcher, by the way, opposite for a left-hand pitcher, and then a squiggle at the end. Now, what creates that? What creates that is finishing the drive-through instead of a linear path where your hand and your drive foot are basically going in the same direction, generating maximum speed to your target. Your drive-through is finished by a quick rotation of the hips and then a pulling through of the drive foot, usually to around the stride foot heel. I'm going to show you in a second. Line number 3 goes all the way off to the left, beyond the pitching rubber, and then stops. Beyond the width of the pitching rubber, and then seems to stop. The reason it seems to stop is because that drive foot has lost contact with the ground before it connected to the stride foot. We've talked about this many times before. You cannot have maximum power and command unless you are completely and totally balanced when you are delivering your pitch. Now, if your drive foot comes up off the ground at any point in time, you lose your solid foundation. You cannot be as balanced with both feet on the ground as you can with one foot up in the air. No way. So what is it that it looks like when you're delivering a pitch? 1, 2, and 3. So as I come off the pitching rubber, which I will do here, and I am vertically stacked, and I am balanced, I'm going to do this slowly, I'm going to load, I'm going to reach and track, and I'm going to fire and drive in a straight line. And I don't know if you can see it, but what's happened here is I've made that first line. A nice soft banana hook, drive foot toe to stride foot heel. If I come off the pitching rubber and I reach and I get halfway down, and instead of continuing my linear drive, which gives me maximum speed and command, I rotate my hips and bring my foot around, you're going to see that sharp line and then the squiggle going into your stride foot. If I come off the pitching rubber and I deflect my hips, no longer being vertically stacked, there's no way I could get my drive foot toe to my stride foot heel now. This is going to be like a bowling position. And my foot is going to go off to the side. It's going to lose its contact with the ground, taking away my stability and my solid foundation, making it really difficult for me to command the strike zone with maximum speed and power. So when we talk about the ground telling a story, and you're not certain or you can't feel what it is that your body's doing and why your pitch is not going where you want it to go with the velocity that you want it to go at, take a look at the ground. The ground is going to tell a great story. And these are just 3 of the primary drive-through outlines that you will see when you are pitching and when you either have control of your body or you do not. Again, if your drive-through continuously on the ground looks like a soft banana hook and it's going all the way connected to your stride foot heel, you're pretty much assured that you were tracked, you fired, and you drove through in a linear path towards your target. If you have a sharp line instead of a soft line or a squiggle at the end, there is premature hip rotation in that, finishing your drive-through. That robs you of command because your hand's not going straight anymore. It's going around with the turning of your hips. If your drive foot goes straight off to the left and loses contact with the ground, your hips have deflected, you've lost your vertical stacking, and the tension that you hold in your body to keep you from falling over in this position when you land is power that's not available to your pitch. I hope that this has been helpful, and I would love to hear your comments on what you see when you look on the ground when you drive through. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to try to answer them. Talk to you next time.